And today on the program, we are diving into eyes, contacts. Keep thinking what I'm talking about.
I'm Toya Singh, joining you here from New Delhi. Apart from that, we'll also be taking a look at a legendary swimmer who's just a young teen but is setting records. We'll take a look. Let's take you first to all of the headlines.
Don't blink on eye care. Actor Jasmine Bhasin suffers severe eye injury. Is it a wake-up call for all of us as well? A corneal damage after contact lens mishap. How to avoid an identical mistake. We tell you a breakdown.
And a young teen who is on the autism spectrum. She's a 16-year-old girl. She shattered records by becoming the youngest and fastest para swimmer to cross the English Channel.
It's day 6 at the Paris Games. Big hopes in golf, hockey and badminton as well. Swapnil is in the 3-pistol rifle finale, a massive test for boxer Nikant Zareen as well.
And we take you to the story of the Kashmir willow, a big boost to made in Kashmir bats as a demand for Kashmir willow bats surges. This is obviously something that's been in the works for decades now, but we're finally seeing that manufacturing demand, and it's providing livelihood to 2 lakh Kashmiris. We'll take a deeper dive on the show.
And also on the program, we will give you a glimpse and a review of the all-new BMW 5 Series 2024 LWB. All you need to know coming up on the program.
Today we're diving into a topic that's right in front of our eyes. Keep your ears peeled. There are going to be a lot of eye puns coming up. Recently, television actor Jasmine Bhasin, she suffered corneal damage. This is after wearing contact lenses for an event. Now, this is the account that she had talked about. She's a, of course, former Bigg Boss contestant, and she says she first went through a painful sensation while she was at the event. She found it difficult to see, and after the event, so she waited till the event, she rushed to see a doctor. Now, thankfully, she is on the road to recovery. Now, we have those details, and her ordeal is a wake-up call for us all. In a world where lenses are a part of all of our daily routines, or so many of our daily routines, some of us are using glasses, some of us aren't using the eye protection we need to be using. Knowing the right way to take care of your eyes is crucial.
Well, that's right. And eye infections are not new. Perhaps this episode sort of puts it in the highlight and spotlight one more time. But we have been romanticizing and doing, so much stuff with contact lenses. Even those who don't need them wear these colored lenses all the time. So what is this all about? We thought we'll break it down for you with an expert. Now, joining us now on the program is somebody who has been working in this field for quite some time, and someone also who has an in on what to do when especially you are in the acting field. Dr. Mickey Dhamjani is here with us in the studio, so tell us more about it. Dr. Mickey, thank you so much for joining us. Lovely to have you over here. My first question really, if somebody is feeling a sort of irritation because of the contact lenses, as was seen in case of Jasmine, what is the first thing that you advise they do?
Yeah, see, the body typically gives you signs. So if you're feeling an irritation, your body is responding to something. So the number one, a contact lens is a foreign body. You take it out. That's the first step you do. You rinse your eyes and you visit the doctor like as soon as possible. That should be the first step. Like when something of this sort happens.
I see.
Dr. Mickey, tell us, I'm someone who stayed away. I should be wearing lenses, I should be wearing glasses, and I've stayed away from them because taking them out is just such a confusing process. You can spend 15 minutes in front of the mirror saying, hai, nahi hai, pata nahi hai entirely. You're unsure, you can feel something. Sometimes you feel there's a phantom lens. Just tell our audiences some of the statistics here. How often is it likely that you might actually have a lens stuck in there for many days and you haven't realized? Is this actually a reality for people?
Yes, it is a reality, but not so commonly. I mean, the eyes are very sensitive. So if there is a foreign body stuck, more often than not, it gets noticed and you feel the sensation. So typically it'll irritate you so much that you'll want to seek help or something. That is one. But yes, the most definitive sign that the contact lens is out is that when you visibly remove, see, they always tinted these days. They always have a bluish shade or something. So the surest sign is that it should be there in total, kept inside your solution. Once you see that, that is the time when it's actually there. It's out.
Right.
That you have always.
Right. Well, for all our viewers actually wondering that Dr. Mickey seems a little familiar as well, let's just say that you do remember him from his earlier avatar of being a child actor. He was in Krish as well, playing the younger version of Hrithik Roshan. So life is a full circle for you, Dr. Mickey, today, as you're talking about a disease as it infected another actor. Which brings me to the question of what kind of infection really reaches the eye, especially for women, and it's got to do with makeup. A lot of times infection that you see creep in is because of the kajal that you've applied or any other makeup product that might be there. So what is your recommendation on women who are doing a makeup and wearing lenses sometimes just for the color?
Sure. So contact lenses per se, the guidelines are very grey. Like it's not clear cut. It's not defined well. So the thing is, wearing contact lenses has to be. It comes with responsibilities. So when you're wearing contact lenses, hygiene is the most important part. Even though the solution does clean it, so your hand hygiene is very important. Plus, contact lens itself is a foreign body. Also, when you're putting kajal and any other makeup object, those are also microscopic irritants which can irritate your eye. So you're just adding on to the whole plethora of infection or the inflammation that can happen to the eye. So yes, while doing makeup, and if that is a part of your profession, having the contact lens in first, then getting the makeup done from the outside so that the particles don't go in. And once you're done with your, when you're done for the day or whatever, it should be taken out, rinse, and then the makeup should be taken out. I mean, minimal things should, kind of go inside the eye. That is the agenda.
Contacts first, later. That's a good point.
Yeah, so so when you have it shut, so the makeup is happening outside. Otherwise, what will happen? The microparticles will go in, and then you put the lens on top of that, and then that'll keep irritating, and possibly could lead to inflammation per se.
Got it.
Doctor, sometimes you read about LASIK surgery. So LASIK is something that often we've, especially over the last few years, been looking at as an alternative. So if you are sick of wearing lenses, you can even go in for LASIK surgery. But I do want to ask you, doctor, the internet, especially in the last few months, has abounded with horror stories of people who've gotten LASIK surgery and 10 years later, 15 years later, they're actually having problems. I want your verdict. If someone comes to you, glasses versus lenses versus LASIK surgery, what's the advice you give them?
Oh, so the internet is a very funny place and interesting place at the same time. What gets highlighted are the very rare of cases. So LASIK and contact lenses, or anything as a matter of fact, even a t-shirt, there is no made one size for all, right? So perfect selection of candidate for LASIK is very important. So LASIK is one of the most safest surgeries. It's a procedure actually, which has been there since more than over 2 decades now. And the technology has evolved so much that the doctor's real job here is the right patient selection. So if your eyes are healthy, if you look at your corneas and everything is okay, then the complications that are possibly possible that can happen are very, very minimal. Okay, and they are also solvable. So it's like a surgery which is about 99% very safe, and 1% complications are manageable ones. Something like dry eyes, again, it's temporary. Something like undercorrection and regression, that means your number can happen. You can have a number left which can be taken care of and all. So by and large, if the right patient is selected, you do not see complications for all practical purposes. So it is very, very, very safe. Same thing applies for contact lenses. If you have dry eyes, if you have allergies, and then you start wearing contact lenses, you will land up in the news or wherever, or you'll land up to our office. So it's about the right patient selection, and technology has evolved so much that for all practical purposes, if your lifestyle warrants you to wear contact lenses for prolonged hours, this is much more safer because it's a one-time thing and it's pretty much permanent.
I see, that's interesting actually. But which brings me to the next question on, is there a safe range or a limit to how many hours one should have contact lenses on? I mean, we all know of people who can wear it for 24 hours at a stretch and not know the difference. And there are also those like me who just can't bear it beyond an hour or two. So what is your recommendation there? At how many hours should you say definitely take your contact lens out?
Yeah, again, this question also is, there are no official guidelines, but typically 10 to 12 hours should be the upper limit. See, the concept here is the cornea on which you place your contact lenses, that derives its oxygen supply from the air, like from the atmosphere. Now what you're doing with the contact lens is you're kind of shutting off a percentage of it. So you are creating a workload on the cornea to work more than it's supposed to. Now do the math and multiply it by the number of days and months and years I'll be putting in. That cornea has to now work against the lack of oxygen supply that you're creating. So you're actually creating a load on it. Hence, after 10, 12, 14 hours at the most, you should take it out and give it that breathability space.
Right.
Dr. Mickey, I just want to ask, on the internet, again, it sounds like I'm asking about the internet a lot, but on the internet, you do see a lot of eye exercises that you can do to strengthen your eyes. I know there are Ayurveda tips one comes across, things they can eat, things they can do to strengthen their eyes and their eyesight. How much of this actually works though? Tell us.
So good food, typically rich in vitamin A, vitamin E, green leafy vegetables generally is good, but practically when you say that to people, it's very generic advice. People don't really do that. So yeah, I mean, there are specific micronutrients for the eyes which are found in fish, carrots, and oranges, fruits, in nuts, vitamin E, omega-3 fatty acids, stuff like that. They overall help for your eye health. But an exercise in per se or an Ayurveda thing, something are more of myths. There is one thing which actually works, that is the 20-20-20 rule. This is also known as the digital eye strain. Okay, that is when you're working on the screens, every 20 minutes your eye deserves a break for just 20 seconds. So just look 20 feet apart and just blink for 20 seconds and then get back to work. That is something which actually does work.
Our 20-20 formula, right? At 20 minutes, look at something that is 20 feet apart and also sort of count till 20 while you're doing it. That's always a good exercise. But let's come to more seasonal issues then with the contact lenses. We are in the midst of a monsoon, lots of infections doing the rounds. In Mumbai as well, I'm seeing a lot of people walking around with a red eye or a swollen eye. In these seasons, especially, what are your recommendations? One would be to just stay away from contact lenses, especially when you have an eye infection. Other ways to avoid an infection while wearing lenses, which ones would those be?
So can be seen both ways. Number one, your hands, they are very important for infection. So right now, because of the change in humidity, all the fomites, your cell phones and everything else is possibly having a higher load of bacteria as compared to what would have happened in another season. So cleaning your hands is essential while wearing your contact lenses and taking care of your contact lenses. Now, if you see signs like irritation or redness, you should take them off. And preferably, again, no certain guidelines here, you should be using daily disposables or at least monthly disposables so that the cycle is shortened and the chances of infection are reduced here.
I see.
Doctor, let me ask you, with lenses, this is a question that a lot of people around me have. When you forget your lens solution, this is such a common problem because with lenses, you have to carry the case around, you have to carry the solution around if you're not sleeping at home. If you forget your solution anywhere, I know the internet, I know people have a lot of their own make-at-home solutions that they try. So one is water with salt, for example. Do any of those actually work, especially because sometimes solution can get quite expensive?
Okay, so the solution itself, though it looks transparent, it does have, preservatives, it does have stuff like hydrogen peroxide and things to keep the lens clean and maintained. I don't really understand. There's a certain pH, like in the osmolarity and everything, at which the lens has to be maintained. I don't think that's possible to replicate by using salt and home solutions. So your eyes are very precious. I don't think a home solution, a homemade thing and cost should be something which you should be looking at here too, because the aftermath of an infection happening or a damage happening to the eye is far more worse than what you will end up by helping yourself with a salt or water solution at home. So yeah,
definitely keep out of that.
Keep out of that.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Dhamijani, thank you for joining us early in the morning to give us all these tips to keep our eyesight bright and clear. We hope, India, you've been listening, you've been taking notes. Okay, let's move on from this story now to our big bash in cricket. One of the most popular sports in the country, cricket bats are obviously an integral part of the game. For decades now, Kashmir willow cricket bats have been a preferred choice among cricketers. Usually they have superior quality, performance, and it all comes down to the particular wood.
And now the demand for this particular Kashmir willow cricket bats has soared across India and the globe. That's right, the classic cricket bat from Kashmir, known for its exceptional quality and craftsmanship, is making waves in the sporting world as well. This is how they make it. Take a look.
Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket, has been constantly promoting Kashmir willow. His first bat, which was gifted to him by his elder sister, was a Kashmir willow. Like him, many budding Indian cricketers also prefer Kashmir willow to start their career with. The demand for Kashmir willow cricket bats has doubled this year. With an increase in cricket leagues across the globe, the demand for bats is high, and Kashmir has risen up to the occasion. Saad Trumbu and his brother Hamad are young entrepreneurs who aspire to make it big in the cricket equipment industry. Their aim is to take the Made in India bat to the global platform. Trumbu brothers recently bagged ₹30 lakh deal on a famous investment TV show, which boosted their morale to accomplish their mission. Every day, they receive orders of about 100 bats from different states in India and foreign countries. Their factory is running at full capacity as they try to meet the market demand.
Now many international cricket players are using Kashmir willow cricket bats, and they are performing as good as English willow. And there are many Kashmiri brands who are promoting their brands on international level. They are providing their bats to international players, and the response is very good.
As per Government of India, there are around 200 bat manufacturing units in Kashmir. Around 3 million bats are manufactured annually. 1.3 lakh bats were exported to 35 nations in 2022. The bat industry in Kashmir was worth ₹1,000 crore in 2022. It provides livelihood to 2 lakh people in the valley. With the advancement, now the focus is on willow plantation and tree care, which will make the product high performance. In the recently held ICC World Cup, many cricketers were seen playing with Kashmir-made bats. A bat manufactured by GR8 Sports during the ICC T20 World Cup led to the longest hit 6 of the tournament, which has made its owner, Fazul Kabir, believe that more could be done by the industry. He is exporting bats to many countries, which he says is a result of years of R&D.
देखें जी, पहले तो हमारा जो बिज़नेस था इट वाज लिमिटेड टू इंडियन बाउंड्रीज ओनली, लेकिन आफ्टर द आईसीसी अप्रूवल इन 2021 एंड अपीयरेंस इन द वर्ल्ड कप्स यूजिंग इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेटर्स, वी हैव 37 इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेटर्स राइट नाउ यूजिंग कश्मीर विलो क्रिकेट बैट, और विमेंस क्रिकेट में डेब्यू किया इस साल. तो राइट नाउ पीपल फ्रॉम जापान टू दिस USA and West Indies are asking for our cricket bats, and we are the largest exporters of cricket bats back to England. And this is the greatest achievement of Kashmir willow so far.
The price of English willow can start from ₹25,000 and can go up to ₹1 lakh plus. But the same quality bats produced in Kashmir are sold from ₹2,500 to ₹25,000.
What you're seeing in my hand is a beautifully crafted Kashmir-made cricket bat. This industry has been existing for several years, but now it is getting international recognition, with several cricketers playing with bats like these, which are ultra light and also can hit the balls out of the boundary line, and is now capturing the attention of the global arena, with these bats seen at the international level like the ICC cricket tournament, and several players using this. It is now capturing the market slowly and can be a replacement of English willow. This industry here where I am right now is flourishing. They say that they're receiving orders from across the globe, from Europe, from UAE, and several cricketers are inquiring about these bats, which have been made ultra light and can hit the ball out of the boundary line. With Bashir Lone in Kashmir, Ishanwani for CNN News 18.
All right, let's go into our Go for Gold segment with the latest in the Olympics. On day 5, we did not see any medals come India's way, but there was plenty of cheer. And it's all in the run-up to what's coming up on day 6, which promises to be one of the most significant days in the Games for the Indian contingent so far, which could make or break medal hopes for several. It is without doubt the day is packed with critical clashes across golf, hockey, boxing and even badminton.
Now, the main medal event is in shooting. You're going to have Swapnil Kusal. He'll be in action in the 50-meter rifle 3-position men's final. It's also going to be a massive test day for boxer Nikhat Zareen. Let's bring you all Sanjay Suri once again joining us in Paris. Take a look.
Halfway through the Olympics already, and what a struggle it's been to get just a bronze or two. After all this, could India just walk into more medals? They actually could, and today, both men and women, Paramjeet Singh Bisht, Akashdeep Singh and Vikash Singh are all competing in the men's 20-kilometer race walk, and later Priyanka in the women's 20-kilometer walk. So that's new competition coming up, new hope, and also we are getting on with golf now. Gaganjeet Bhullar and Subhashankar Sharma will be in the men's individual round one playing out later today, and we are still not done with hopes of more medals from shooting and more from Manu Bhakar. But first, watch for Swapnil Kusale in the men's 50-meter rifle final. He is the first Indian to have qualified for that one, and we will have later the women's 50-meter qualifications with Sift Kaur Samra and Anjum Motgil contesting. But do keep a lookout also for Sift Kaur. She looks seriously promising. And the big test coming up in hockey now. India are up against Olympic champions Belgium. India had picked up the bronze at the Tokyo Games. Belgium got the gold, and this time they've won all their matches so far, including beating Australia 6-2. And Belgium are still thought not to have played at their best yet. Tough nut there. Another tough nut will be boxing. Nikhat Zareen will be taking on China's Wu Yu in the women's 50-kilo round, and Wu Yu is the world champion and the top seed here. In archery, Praveen Jadhav is up against another tough Chinese opponent. It's these Chinese. In badminton, Satvik and Chirag will take on the Malaysians, and we have to keep an eye out on the fortunes of Lakshya Sen and Pranoy. That will be in the singles round of 16, and then PV Sindhu will be the one to watch after her superb games earlier. Vishnu Sarvanan will have a go in the dinghies men race 1 and 2, and so will Netra Kumanan in the women's dinghy race 3 and 4. Again, deep waters, no plane sailing anywhere.
All right, so that brings us to a quick medal tally over there. Let's pop that up on the screen. There are about 2 bronzes there for India. We are still waiting in to get that gold or sort of increase that tally as well. But remember, it's just day 6. Lots more opportunities are gonna pop up, and we are rooting for the country.
All of the updates on Team India right here on the show. We're going to head into a quick break, and on the other side we're bringing you one more sportswoman, a 60-year-old teen. She's on the autism spectrum from Mumbai, and she's become the youngest and the fastest para-swimmer to cross the English Channel ever. We'll take a look at her story on the other side.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بداية نحن نكرر تعازينا لسماحة القائد وللشعب الإيراني الشقيق وللإخوة الكرام في الرئاسة وفي الحكومة وفي البرلمان وفي كل قوى هذه الجمهورية الإسلامية التي نعتز بها.
یک گروه کم من فئة قلیله غلبت فئة کثیرة بإذن الله. شما یه فئه قلیله هستید.
هذا العدو الصهيوني لا ولن يكون له مكان على الخارطة السياسية للمنطقة. في بيوتنا وفي دارنا ثالث مرة وإن شاء الله حنضلنا صامدين يا حاج إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى. هذا اللي صار إن شاء الله شيء أذى بسيط لن يضركم إلا أذى، وإن شاء الله بنعيد بناءه وترميمه وبرجع أحسن من مكان. إن شاء الله حيرجع أحسن من مكان. وبعدين أبو محمود ما شاء الله شفت عليه معنوياته عالية، أولاده معنوياتهم عالية جدا.
لتحرير كل فلسطين. اقسم بالله العظيم.
Back. It's time now on the program to take you through stories from India and across the globe. Let's start with what's happening with the nuclear reactor. India's most advanced nuclear reactor, the prototype fast breeder reactor in Tamil Nadu, has received approval to start loading fuel. This marks a huge milestone in India's atomic energy program. The reactor will use plutonium and thorium, promising long-term energy independence. Extensive safety checks have been completed and the reactor is expected to be operational in a few months.
The next story is a bit of a heartwarming one. A dog named Maharaj made his way back home to a Karnataka village after travelling nearly 250 kilometres to Maharashtra. His owner, Kamlesh Kambhar, was overjoyed to find Maharaj at his doorstep, wagging his tail like nothing had happened at all. The villagers threw a big feast to celebrate. They believe it was a miracle that guided Maharaj back home.
Turkey's parliament has passed a controversial law to remove millions of stray dogs from the streets, sparking fears of mass killings in overcrowded shelters. Critics, including animal activists and opposition lawmakers, call it a massacre law and vow to block its implementation. President Erdogan, who wants to sign it, defended the bill after a tense overnight session. Demonstrations erupted nationwide with thousands in Istanbul's square, with many arguing the harsh measure.
And now we're taking you from dogs to cats. A parasite found in cat litter might help treat Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Scientists have found a way to use this parasite to deliver medicine directly to the brain in the case of both Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. This new research is led by the University of Glasgow, and it could lead to new treatment for these diseases.
A strong solar storm could make the northern lights visible much farther south than usual this week. The US Weather Center has issued a watch for a geomagnetic storm, predicting more auroras due to solar flares and explosions on the sun. The lights might be seen as far south as Illinois and Oregon. This happens when the sun is very active, causing stronger solar flares and storms.
And OpenAI is rolling out a new voice feature for ChatGPT, starting with its paid users. This new voice mode will sound more natural. It can talk back in real time, so it'll be similar to Siri in those ways. It'll understand emotions and interruptions, and it aims to make ChatGPT more like a helpful virtual assistant, enhancing conversations just like talking to a friend. The feature will be available to all Plus users by this fall.
Our person of interest today will give you goosebumps with her achievements. She's just 16. She has crossed the English Channel in record time. All this while she is autistic. Today we meet Jia Rai, who's the youngest and the fastest para-swimmer to cross the English Channel. This autistic teen from Mumbai has scripted history. Jia achieved this incredible feat not very long ago on the 28th-29th of July, navigating the 34-kilometer stretch all the way from England to France in record 17 hours and 25 minutes. Her success is not just a personal victory, but a momentous milestone for all para-swimmers and especially those in the autism spectrum.
Let's tell you a little bit more about her. Her accomplishment underscores obviously the power of resilience and perseverance, and it shows that obstacles can be turned into stepping stones. But what's even more special is the support of her father and her family along the way. Despite her disabilities, Jia is on a mission to become the world's first and youngest para-swimmer to swim 7 oceans. She is the daughter of Madan Rai, the MC at Arms serving in Mumbai. And as we told you, he's going to be joining us today along with her to bring us all of their story. Let's just go over to them.
All right, let's bring in our guests then. Joining us now is Jia and her father, Madan Rai. Hi, hello. Namaskar. I believe Jia won't be speaking, but her father will be answering all the questions on her behalf. Madan ji, namaskar. बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए, and a big congratulations for this milestone that your daughter has achieved, and not just her achievement, but achievement of so many others who've been looking and getting inspired in this journey. हमें बताइए ये swimming की journey शुरू कहाँ से हुई आपके लिए?
एक्चुअली जिया की जो स्विमिंग जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई थी जब जिया 2 ईयर की थी, वहीं से जिया की लाइफ का टर्निंग पॉइंट था. जब जिया 2 ईयर की थी, फर्स्ट टाइम शी वाज डायग्नोसिस विद द ऑटिज्म स्पेक्ट्रम डिसऑर्डर. ये वर्ड एक फैमिली के लिए काफी टफ. उसके बाद सबसे पहले तो 6 महीने हमें लग गए इसको एक्सेप्ट करने में, लेकिन सच तो सच होता है, आप जितना जल्दी एक्सेप्ट कर लें ये बच्चे के भलाई के लिए अच्छा होता. और जिया की जो स्विमिंग जर्नी थी वो काफी हिस्टोरिकल शुरू हुई थी. मेरे घर से थोड़ी दूर पे एक पार्क थे, उस समय मैं गोवा में पोस्टेड था, तो वहां पे एक फैमिली थी. जब भी हम जिया को लेके पार्क में जाते थे, वो जिया पे काफी फोकस करती थी. एंड शी यूजिंग द वर्ड, हमें आपका बच्चा पागल दिखता है. एंड आई एम ट्रूली फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग, मैं उस कमेंट से बचने के लिए उस पार्क को छोड़ के थोड़े डिस्टेंस पे एक पूल था, वहां पे छोटा पार्क था, मैं उस पार्क में जाने लगा. वहीं से जिया का पानी से अट्रैक्शन शुरू हो गया. बस एवरीडे शाम को जब भी हम वहां पे जाते थे पार्क में, तो जिया पानी जगती थी, जाके पानी को टच करना था. जब 2-3 महीने क्रॉस हुए, आई रिमेम्बर उसमें जिया 2 ईयर 7 मंथ की थी जब मैं पहली बार स्विमिंग ट्रंक लेके आया एंड आई टेक हर इन द वाटर. उस समय तो बिल्कुल एक फन था और ये फंड 3 साल तक चला था। लेकिन 2013 जब हम लोग मुंबई ट्रांसफर आए और जिया ने स्कूल में गई और पहली बार स्कूल के इवेंट में जिया ने मेडल जीता और जिया को एक नॉर्मल बच्चों के साथ कंपटीशन था और पहली बार जिया को रिस्पेक्ट मिलना शुरू हुआ।
मदन जी, ये जो अचीवमेंट है जिया का 18 घंटे तैरना, ये कोई छोटी बात नहीं है। इसके बारे में आप हमें और बता सकते हैं?
सबसे पहले तो एक चैलेंजिंग कितना होता है, कोई भी ओपन वाटर स्विमिंग है, सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज होता है। आप एक नॉर्मल किड्स के लिए आप एक बार सिचुएशन को ब्रीफ कर देंगे, वो काफी इजीली अंडरस्टैंड कर जाएंगे सब कुछ। फॉर एग्जांपल, जब इंग्लिश चैनल के लिए एक नॉर्मल स्विमर को आप बताएंगे कि बेटा आपको 10 से 15 घंटा स्विमिंग करना, तो ठीक है ना, अंडरस्टैंड वेरी इजीली। बट जिया को 10 से 15 घंटे का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं पता है, तो हमारे लिए चैलेंज क्या कि बेटा आपको मॉर्निंग में स्विमिंग स्टार्ट करनी है और नाइट में स्विमिंग खत्म होती है। उससे पहले मैं यहाँ के वेदर कंडीशन को स्टडी किया था और जो मुझे सबसे स्ट्रॉन्ग चीज क्या मिली थी, यहाँ पे सनराइज अराउंड 4:30 5 o'clock हो जाता है और सनसेट रात को 9 से 10 बजे का। तो मुझे 16-17 आवर का फ्रेम मिल गया था। तो जो सबसे बड़ा पेरेंट का चैलेंज हो कि आप बच्चे को ब्रीफ कैसे करेंगे। नाउ वी ब्रीफ जिया कि स्टार्ट योर स्विमिंग इन द मॉर्निंग एंड यू विल फिनिश इन द नाइट। तो जिया को पता है कि जैसे सनसेट होगा मेरी स्विमिंग बंद हो जाएगी। एग्जैक्ट सनसेट के साथ ही जिया ने अपनी स्विमिंग फिक्स कर दिया। तो जो हमें समझाने का तरीका होता है वो हमें थोड़ा डिफरेंट देना पड़ेगा। और चैलेंजेस अब दूसरा होता है कि आपको फिजिकल और मेंटली स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए। फिजिकल के लिए आपको डेली 3 आवर 4 आवर एक्सरसाइज, 8 to 10 आवर स्विमिंग करना है। उसके लिए आपके बच्चे को मेंटली स्ट्रांग, जिया को अपने एक्शन पे जब कोई सोसाइटी या कहीं हंसता तो जिया बोल तो नहीं पार्टी, बट जिया फील करती है। तो हम उसी को जिया का हथियार बांधे कि अंकल ने आप पे हंसा था ना, तो जिया से यस। तो नाउ अभी अंकल को आपको प्रूव करना है कि ही रॉन्ग, बोला यस, तो आपको 18 घंटे स्विमिंग करनी है।
एब्सोल्युटली लवली। तो जिया स्विमिंग करती है रिस्पेक्ट पाने के लिए, जिया स्विमिंग करती है लोगों को बताने के लिए कि ऑटिज्म पे हंसना नहीं चाहिए, उसे समझना चाहिए। दैट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल ब्यूटीफुल मैसेज मदन जी। पर हमें जाते जाते ये भी बता दीजिए कि जो लोग और आपको इस समय देख रहे हैं, जिया की स्टोरी को सुन रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं, उनको आप क्या कहने चाहेंगे? ऑटिज्म सिर्फ एक बच्चे को नहीं होता है, पूरे परिवार में पीपल आर इन्वॉल्व्ड। सो उन लोगों को आप क्या कहेंगे?
उस पेरेंट के लिए बड़ा एक सिंपल चीज है, बच्चा आपका है, आप अपने बच्चे पे बिलीव कीजिए। ये बच्चे आपके पास आए हैं जो भगवान का बहुत अच्छा गिफ्ट है और ये पूरी प्लानिंग के साथ आए हुए हैं आपके पास। तो जिस भी हालत में आपको मिले आप उसके एक्सेप्ट कीजिए। और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज, जिया एक स्विमर है, जिया के अंदर एक स्विमिंग स्किल है। इस दुनिया में हर बच्चे में एक स्किल होती है, हो सकता है कोई फुटबॉलर हो, कोई रनर हो, आप उसके स्किल को पहचानिए। और निगेटिव जो दुनिया में आपके बच्चे के बारे में पूरी दुनिया आपको निगेटिव बातें बताएगी, एज ए पेरेंट्स आप उसकी पॉजिटिविटी देखिए और आप उसकी पॉजिटिविटी पे अगर अच्छे से काम कीजिए तो पूरी दुनिया एक दिन आपके नाम, आपको आपके बच्चे के नाम पे जानेगी। देखिए मैं आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ, इसलिए नहीं खड़ा हूँ कि मेरा नाम मदन राय, हम इसलिए खड़े हैं और आज मैं इंटरव्यू दे रहा हूँ कि हम जिया फादर। तो जो बच्चे आपके पास है ऑटिस्टिक है, कोई बात नहीं है, जस्ट एक डिसेबिलिटी एक टर्म है, वो कोई बैरियर नहीं है। आप अपने बच्चे पे के स्किल पे काम कीजिए और एक दिन आप अपने बच्चे के नाम से जाने जाएंगे।
How beautiful, Madan ji. In शब्द के लिए धन्यवाद. Those are such beautiful words. Thank you for joining us, Madan ji. All right, what an inspiring start to our day. His message essentially,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Identify the skill in your child, embrace that skill. Don't think of it as a disability, and don't pay attention to what anyone else is saying. Those are lessons for all of us in life. So beautiful words from him, right?
I loved what he said, that disability is just a word, it is not a barrier. I think that is a line that should go on the boards, the vision boards of so many of us sitting at home as well. So that's the inspiration, that's our person of interest for today. All right, if that hasn't inspired you enough and you are the mean, the fast and furious kinds, well, we've got something for you as well. Here on our Cars and Bikes segment today, we dive into the details of the brand new 2024 BMW 5 Series, the long wheelbase.
So if you've been dreaming of getting a car that combines elegance and cutting-edge technology, this might be your next ride. And from overdrive, those are high words. Take a look.
For all this while, a BMW 5 Series has been your go-to luxury car if you wanted all the comforts but still have a driving itch to scratch. But now with this new generation, BMW seems committed to break from that norm and go right after the competition. This is because the new gen BMW 5 Series is now only available as a long wheelbase model for the first time, at least in ICE form. This is specific to India, and out on the road you do find that the 5 Series has a good deal more presence. It's notably larger overall, being 212mm longer, 32mm wider and 41mm taller. But more effective is the new styling with its sharp monolithic themes. There's no massive grille here, just some very un-BMW like lighting, but the bronzed highlights, the lit up grille and angular surfaces mean that you will stand out in this car. These 18-inch wheels don't quite fit, but flashier 19-inch options are available. Now for all this while, we've been telling you that BMW does some of the best quality interiors at its price point, and with this new 5 Series, they really have taken things up a few notches. I mean, look at this space. It genuinely is almost as impressive as the 7 Series, just in terms of the textures and materials and finishes that have been used. For example, of course, the plastic here is all soft, but this sort of very seamlessly integrated crystalline panel, I mean, the way it sort of lights up, I'll just show you. It really does create a sense of occasion. And then this wood trim that you have here with this quite sort of funky pattern, all of that is textured, and even the plastics down below, even here, they're of a soft quality. And then you have this new BMW design theme, of course. This continues with some elements we've seen in cars like the new X1, like the satin finish panels and the grated speaker covers, both of which have a rich texture and cold feel to them when you touch them. The gloss black panels may be a fingerprint magnet, but they do work with the overall ambience. More open design theme where all the air vents, you know, they're diffused, so you can't even notice them. So you have to open and close them and to adjust them with these rocker sort of dials. Now these have improved a little bit in quality. It was an earlier complaint for us, but they're slightly better now than say in the 7 Series. The controls are reasonably easy to use as well. The 14.9-inch touchscreen now carries the iDrive 8.5 update, which has resulted in more logical home screens and submenus for the climate and other functions. It is still not the easiest to use on the move, but things have improved. The crystal controller and the hard buttons, which do have a tactile feel to them, help complement this. The wireless Android Auto Apple CarPlay function could have been a more seamless integration though. The 12.3-inch instrument cluster is easily configurable and offers information intuitively. You do get used to the entire interface reasonably well over time. But the people in the front, they won't be left behind at all. You have, again, these neck pillows, they really are a great idea, just like at the back. And then just in terms of the way these seats support you, you feel like you're in a big sofa or something like that. You're well supported even on your bolsters and even your thighs. So in that sense, yeah, even the front seat is a pretty luxurious space for the few times that maybe you want to drive the 5 Series long wheelbase. Now the first thing that you notice when you start driving the 5 Series long wheelbase is just how refined it is. It starts off near silently. Now in the comfort mode, I'm just going along slowly. You can barely hear the engine. It's more or less inaudible. And so yeah, it's immediately a serene, peaceful experience, and even though the car has grown quite big, it's still manageable. It doesn't feel too large for traffic. And then of course you know that BMW nearly always gets the driving position right, and it's no different. Maybe it's a bit less sportier than what we remember the last 5 Series to be, but that's fine. You're still very comfortable. The steering wheel, this new one, some people have different opinions on it, but it falls to hand easily. It's nice to hold. The seat is sort of, this whole geometry is really good for most sizes, so that's not a problem. Think of this 5 Series as you did of the earlier one and you will come away disappointed. But BMW has done what it needed to do to chase numbers, and in that regard, the 5 Series hits the spot. It has the presence, cabin feel, and comfort you want from a car which will chauffeur you over long distances, despite some of the misses in the rear seat. The drivetrain is especially competent in any situation, and few European cars match its ride comfort. There's enough here to make this one of the better rounded luxury cars you can buy this side of rupees 1 crore.
Okay, let's take you now from cars to things that you can watch. OTT in India has seen such a boom over the last few years. A Times of India study actually found that an average Indian OTT viewer actually spends 70 minutes daily, more than an hour, watching and streaming different kinds of shows. Now, a recent show that's been on everyone's radar is TVF's Kota Factory. Its 2019 season was #1 on IMDb. The latest season, the show's lead, Ehsaas Channa, has made quite an impact in the OTT space.
And known for her roles in various web series, she's garnered attention for her acting skills and versatility in shows like Girls Hostel, Hostel Days. With a wealth of experience, she's ready to break away the college-centric roles and dive into more mature, diverse characters. On the show, we have the star of the moment, Ehsaas Channa. Listen in.
My heart literally sank when Shivangi left with her father.
That wasn't a part of the script. Ideally, actually, on paper, once I leave, then I don't come back. Life comes back and bites you in the butt, and which is why this show happened. To see Shivangi's life and her relationship with Uday in more depth is going to be fun, because it's a very fun character.
How are you? You are basking in the success of Kota Factory 3. How do you feel? Let me just tell you that my heart literally sank when Shivangi left with her father. But then I got a respite and a sigh of relief when she came back for the results announcement.
That wasn't a part of the script. I think they wanted Shivangi to be a part of it, so they just got me. Ideally, actually, on paper, once I leave, then I don't come back in the show. So the director and the writers was just like, we need to get Shivangi back because it's Vaibhav's result. And, the entire show is about Vaibhav and his IIT journey, and he needs his friends around him. So, which is why they got me back. But I really like the way they have given a nice ending to Shivangi's character. I'm an art student, so I don't have any relation with science, biology, maths, engineering, anything, physics, nothing. So जो भी थोड़ा बहुत स्कूल में पढ़ा था वो भी ध्यान नहीं देती थी मैं, because it never interested me. I remember being a little, I had a math phobia. If any time the teacher would ask me to come and solve a sum on board, I used to start trembling. That's how scared I was. So I knew that this is something that I can't do, pursue in life, which is why I took arts. But life comes back and bites you in the butt, and which is why this show happened. And it was no, we will have to come and hound you with lots of physics and chemistry and stuff. But it was not as difficult as I thought it would be, because it's all on paper and you just have to read and you need to know the basics. So once you know the basics and you know the pronunciations, and you have writers constantly with you on set, and even before we go on floors for a shoot, we have lots of workshops and lots of reading. When I was doing these films as a boy, everyone around me knew I'm a girl. So the people who were, obviously they knew I'm a girl, but for the audience, it was a little difficult to stop doing boys role. And then I did my first film as a girl called Foonk, which was with Ram Gopal Verma, and which was a horror film also.
You did Foonk 1 and Foonk 2, both of them. Yes.
Yes, correct. And again, it's, for me, I feel touch wood, I've been very lucky because the transition has been smooth enough. Luckily, I got at the right time. I got hooked, and I was able to like properly play a girl in it and just tell the world. And that was sort of a hit also. Like enough people watched that film. It was talked about. It was a good film. So like that word spread very quickly. But now at this point, there's no problem because people have completely forgotten about. Not forgotten, but like they don't associate that little child with me right now. Like when I go and tell people that I was that boy, it's a surprise to them. So right now, who I am as a person right now is a very different. I'm a new person for everyone, and when I go and tell, and that little kid is a different, separate person. So for me, I won't be able to talk in detail about quick fame because for me, I've always been an actor. So when I want to stay relevant on social media, and because I have the kind of followers I do, to stay relevant is to be myself and to keep posting as much as possible. Because for an actor, I feel like social media is their portfolio. Now, every director, producer and casting director, whenever they hear your words, the first thing that they do is open Instagram and find you and see your profile. And whatever you want to show the world, and your bio data is literally right there. If you want to show your skills, if you want to tell people that you can dance, you can make a 15-second reel, a dance reel and put it out there and people can watch it. It's sort of like a 15-second audition. So for me, that's what's important. But because I've never been a content creator or an influencer and my career is not very social media driven, I don't know how people manage that. But my opinion is that even if it's a short-lived fame, I still feel like it takes you places and people know about you.
Next, we bring you a special section on financial markets. It's powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's take a look first at markets. GIFT Nifty trends are indicating a positive start for Indian equity indices. US stocks have gained after the Fed left rates unchanged but indicated a rate cut in September. Asian shares were mixed. This is as investors are passing through the Fed Chief Powell's remarks. You have crude oil, gold prices that are inching up. The dollar weakened. This is all post everything the Fed had to say.
Let's look at sectors. There's government's infrastructure thrust has turned investor focus back to construction companies. Now, players in the road sector are in a sweet spot with heightened activity level. However, most players are looking beyond the one sector opportunity. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the road sector and various other actionable insights on the markets. It is your premier destination for the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control. All right, that's all we could pack in today's edition. I hope you liked it. For me, the highlight was actually getting to hear from Jia's father over there. If you have feedback, please do write into us.
Goodbye. See you.
भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाल तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
الله الرحمن الرحيم. بداية نحن نكرر تعازينا لسماحة القائد وللشعب الإيراني الشقيق وللإخوة الكرام في الرئاسة وفي الحكومة وفي البرلمان وفي كل قوى هذه الجمهورية الإسلامية التي نعتز بها.
ये गुरु है क्या منفعة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله. شما یه فئه قلیله‌ای هستید.
هذا العدو الصهيوني لا ولن يكون له مكان على الخارطة السياسية للمنطقة. في بيوتنا وفي دارنا ثالث مرة وإن شاء الله حنضلنا صامدين يا حاج إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى. هذا اللي صار إن شاء الله شيء أذى بسيط لن يضركم إلا أذى، وإن شاء الله بنعيد بناءه وترميمه وبرجع أحسن من مكان. إن شاء الله حيرجع أحسن من مكان. وبعدين أبو محمود ما شاء الله شفت عليه معنوياته عالية، أولاده معنوياتهم عالية جدا.